How to overcome the fear of speaking. As a language teacher, I get this question a lot. Unfortunately, the fear of speaking a different language or having a language barrier can happen quite often, and honestly, there is no immediate answer on how to resolve this issue. But in this episode, we'll have a look at the reasons which might be behind your fear and what we can do to finally start speaking confidently. Let's face it, we're all very, very different people, and the reasons behind our fears might be very different too. When it comes to language learning, the most common fear is not the fear of speaking per se, but it is the fear of making a mistake. This fear can become so big that some students might feel a sense of being almost paralyzed by it. Their thoughts might become blurry, and when they try to form a sentence in the moment, they might feel that they forgot everything they've studied. So it is tough. And there are a couple of reasons behind it. Firstly, a student can have a record of being almost perfect at everything they do in their life or at other academic disciplines, or they might have had experiences in their life when other people expected a lot from them. As a result, they put so much pressure on themselves and create very, very high standards that when they make a mistake, they immediately start to feel like a failure. Obviously, it is a very big issue and the solution here is not easy. I've had many students like this, and what I found useful in my practice is that the ability of being empathetic and being able to give yourself some time is truly important. Everyone makes mistakes, especially if you're doing something new that you've never done before, especially when it comes to such a huge and complex thing as a foreign language. You're bound to make mistakes, and it is okay. During my classes, I share a lot of my mistakes with my students, so they see the alternative way of not running away from them, but rather accepting these mistakes, being able to learn from them and perceive them as something silly or funny. With some people, it might take some time, but step by step, with the right people around them, they learn how to make mistakes, and this brings fluency into their speech. And this is exactly why the idea of creating the safe space is very important for us at Pomodoro Language School. Secondly, the fear of speaking might stem from the imposter syndrome that we talked about in one of the previous episodes. I will leave the link here to watch it. But essentially, people who suffer from it think that their results are not enough. They constantly compare themselves with others and tend to undervalue their progress. And this becomes even more difficult when it comes to something as big as a language learning process. It is not going to be fast. So it is very important to learn how to see the progress that you're making and accept the fact that making mistakes is just a part of it. And thirdly, the student might just not have enough speaking practice. So whenever they start speaking, they feel a little panicky because they lack active vocabulary, the skill of practicing a different language. And again, it is okay. It's a different language with the right safe environment around them where people are allowed to make mistakes. As long as they feel supported, they start speaking in no time. And this is exactly what I've been doing this year in my teaching practice, and this is exactly what we do now at Pomodoro. If you would like to have a free consultation with a language expert, sign up on our website, and I will see you in the next episode.